If you click this video in hopes of a
There are dozens of content genres, each with its pros and cons, but there are tiers separating each genres of content, starting from level 1.
You're not low. Who's meant to be impressed with this ChatGPT intro, bruh? But if you're looking for a watch time journey of me just shitting on YouTube niches and your favorite creators, you're in luck. We're actually dropkicking every single thing you know and love because hey! Coming from someone who used the platform for a decade. FYI, I wasn't born yesterday. So if you have grievances, criticism, or I missed out on something, just constructively handling me a piece of your mind in good faith in general, the comment section is always there. I will not compromise more than this. Alright? One more thing. When I say content genres, I mean specific art forms and content popularized by YouTube, the website. So sports, corpos, music, celebs, politics, educational quippies are of course excluded. They're there to serve a demographic that I don't want to bother. For now. Same reason why I won't cover kids channels, cause they serve kids and I'm unk. In it? So without further ado... We all love that smooth Sakuga running scene, or dinosaurs fighting each other, or stick figures turning into Sakamoto, or SCPs going ham, or
It's Saga like a gutsy.
Hey, curator! 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 Yes, I believe I reminded you to turn off the music while in the watch party. What party? I'm a loner! I sat on that couch and I goon! Stop showing anime shit! This is animation made exclusively from YouTubers. You're missing the market. I'm afraid your mind can't come up with more examples for now. Huh? For real? I mean, there is this from Saddest that you've always liked. They're animatics! The animation ain't animation in my bruh. Is that all my mind can scrape up for now? I believe so, sire. It'd be potential to kick the pacing up a notch instead of shifting channels and pray. Cause seems like you're having a mind cramp. You mean mind block? Essentially the same thing, sire. The examples would just flow in like they always do in your videos. Yeah, makes sense. Animation process
so difficult, bro.
Automatically sets back this genre so much that when you eventually get your projects here, it'll drown amongst the thousands of videos that YouTube has to filter out every day. But even if you manage to get it out monthly, series like this that have borderline Sakuga animation drops yearly may result in results that doesn't reflect the video at all. Well, that's what makes animation special, you see. The art reflects on the journey, the process, the experience of creating life itself running in 3D. Flex your writing, vivid composition. There's absolutely no shortage when it comes to variety here. How did that work out for you? Yeah, that's what I thought. You thought this was something that you're broke, lonely, crusty, musty, unintelligent specimen can handle alone? Bro had to get the entire team heavy lifting, and you still need months of cooldown for the maps. Safe to say that if you put all that effort for every frame, every sketch, flesh out the writing, flesh out the jokes, composition, all of in-betweens, and slides down the algorithm forbidden void like girls sliding down the hill? Yeah. I can imagine the disparity between all that effort and it going nowhere. Of course, if you're talented and believe that you can break out, please take a crack at it. But most people may not be that patient.
I spent 5 hours on a 2-second animation.
Yeah, no. That's so real.
And the times don't treat them kindly at all. Fortunately, a subgenre / niche rose up as a proposal of balance between intimate, simplicity, and of course, art.
So, you chose to die here.
You draw yourself, or basically a spirit animal to represent yourself, since most people taking this route don't want their face to be on the internet. Just the content they want to bring to the table.
boy!
Not necessarily unauthentic or corporate. You can still succeed and be praised if you follow this path. It just comes at a cost.
And have a free game available in the App Store right now.
So I kind of played this shit game, and it's not very fun.
Relatability, an essence of the genre itself. And the audience that wanted this to shine brightly ain't small. Shit ain't sweet when you're in here.
Scared of my mom.
Storyboarding, voice recording. Obama who? Obama what? Obama black lion! Potentially combating burnout.
I have not slept for a week. My blood flows with Red Bull and Xanax.
If you're in this alone, you're definitely biting more than you can chew. That's what teams are for, though. If your channel is built upon you telling stories and animating it, what happens if you run out of stories to tell? What happens when the genre gets saturated? What happens when your audience age? When you age? These questions do haunt every type of content creator, but it hurts STAs more than others. Update. What is with this new wave of STAs?
Anyone.
Their first vids alone had the views that any starter would drool for. Hell, I got jealous, knowing full well I shouldn't be comparing myself to people. Maybe people were just fed up with AI slop, or unauthentic corpo content. But dude, that view count is f***ing ridiculous sometimes. They just got super lucky. I don't know, man. All I'm saying is, my time better be soon, you know. Oh boy. He will definitely not like this path at all. I soon run into a nitpick for this genre. When you direct your viewers' focus onto the thing you're discussing, the focus is on the topic, obviously, not you, which ain't a problem for the media enthusiast. Myself, on the other hand, I remember bringing this up to him. I was like, yo, dude, I don't want to just pop up daily and just thoughtlessly air dry my opinions out hairdryer style. I want the show to be on me. People won't come to this channel just hear another person echoing lukewarm takes or complaining or whining. They crave something different. A deviation, a personality, the unorthodoxy even. It's like how rap songs from the Stupendium or Dan Bull does it. The subject at hand, woven meticulously with my personal mark. A theatrical display. That's what it's all about, dude. I want this channel to be a stage, with my personal juice intertwined with everything else. Not just me go, I think the sorry state of One Punch Man Season 3 is genuinely baffling to the degree of regress from 2025 back to 8000 BC when dire wolves went extinct. I'd never settle with this for the channel. Shit. He wants to prove that he's just that guy to the whole fucking... Facts! That's what I'm saying, bro. Despite having the cognitive function of a giraffe with Alzheimer's. Sure, big guy. It's like you're any better, bro. This is a commentary channel. New shit every day. Person sits in front of the camera, reports the subject at hand. Daily news. New shit every day. People sitting in front of the camera. Reports the subject at hand. Do I really gotta put the slander on a plate for y'all? First off, do Gen Z even watch daily news? Second, what are you watching for, other than knowing what happened in the last 24 hours? If you're struggling to answer, congrats, you have just understood the reason why I don't consider myself a commentary channel. You pay your bills via adding in commentary for either controversies, events, or individuals that somehow bugs you off enough to make a media piece for it. Hey, don't get me wrong, like, some of these pieces are warranted. Like, these individuals deserve your Evo log.
You beating me in a fight doesn't unf your girlfriend from the numerous men that had sex with her in front of you.
Just look at more. I guess you cannot convince me this guy's capitalizing on stuff. No sugarcoating, right? I'm not throwing shade in the sense of, whoa, your content, bad, mine, good. I ain't anyone's more superior to show you how to get shit done. You do you. I mean, if commentary suits you, go ahead. Like, it's just that the genre is as straightforward as it is. Like, I don't think it's just pour the, usual energy or enthusiasm into this segment. But it's still worth going over, because this is all content genre slander, lads. Just a cheeky reminder about what you've signed up to. You're welcome. Just what's wrong with saying that shit lame as fuck with a straight face? Courtesy. Want me to spell that shit out for you, jackass? Now, I usually want my vids to distribute equal love/slander to everybody involved, so I avoid funneling my inner impulses to specifically scapegoat. But most of my slander for documentaries will be directed to this one channel.
Dream's face reveal could qualify as the worst mistake made by a content creator ever.
The downfall of Master Oogway will be studied for years to come, with many of his own viewers completely turning on him.
Stars with 100 million views per month to watching 90% of his viewership disappear. My name's Ryan, and here's how Kwebbelkop destroyed his entire YouTube empire.
Here are times 8 YouTubers destroyed cancel culture, starting with the controversy.
Here are 300,067 ways that a streamer makes you look I can't. Oi, all this monotone narrating, squares containing YouTubers and highly edited,
Quietly buried behind.
this one gets me the most, are floating all over my feed, bruh. All I did was watch 2 to 3 of these, and boom, red background thumbnails alongside YouTubers with mass following along with the words, life ruined, it's over, he's done. Brother, having the same format repeated over and over again fries me, dog. Especially if a vid pops out the day after something big happens. For example, Hassan shocking, you know the rest. And then the same day, a compilation of political Twitch streamers, for example, from, you know, my men, popping out to capitalize or some shit. Like, dude, documentaries in nature needed time and research to verify/articulate, but to have it airdrop the day after an incident and titling it, the satisfying downfall of ... or when rage baiters get humiliated, seems more like you're cashing into a format that's already proven than presenting information. That's... Let's be honest, this is probably a few Google searches away, man. You can just type it up and read it yourself. These are most likely made from a team rather than individual tenacity, so deadlines are set which combines creators, encouraging them to stick to formats that already works. For the last time, I'm not blindly throwing shade towards videos that are proven to work and get channels moving like Jeremy Doku versus Liverpool. So if I see a random ass stray clip of me saying that, oh my days, I hate internet anarchists or some community notes, you know what to do. The media enthusiast's gimmick is to peer into the archives and blend his opinions with what he sees. I think you've said this before. So he defo needs this and commentary to mix his wit with. Hey, me personally, I can't stand solely doing this for a living. If your full-time job is to project stuff that ain't even related to you, maybe happening in a different hemisphere even, or do recaps of famous streamers doing famous streamer things. No disrespect, but You know what's funny? I just realized those videos specifically are referred to as video essays. Fair enough, calling these documentaries when National Geographic is right there rubs me all the wrong ways. But other people call it documentaries, so I thought, why don't I just do proper research before scripting? Why am I always doing this to myself? I dare you to come up with something more YouTuber than putting shit on a tier list and make a video about it. Which leads to the ultimate flaw lying in the nature of this niche. Bias. It's not hard to imagine Arsenal fans dick-eating the Invincibles, Real Madrid fans sucking off the 3P, LeBron Glazers praise the longevity, One Piece ride or die sing their praises 25 plus years, Attack on Titan hypersocials never fathoming a better story than Eren and the Wolves, the comment section, discussions, arguments, rage, outbursts, rises to the occasion. The moment an entry is put a tier 2 low, they f***ing swarm you like feral endermen on a phase 10 SRP run. Which begs the question, do some of these videos put entries all over the place? On purpose?
He did that shit on purpose.
You know they can enrage fan bases and further push their videos, so like they choose unpopular opinions in the most outrageous way, and it somehow stands? There's no genre that resembles a double-edged sword so perfectly, Emo. You demonstrate your unbiased opinion on display for others to judge, but there's always a random lunatic making his life's mission to smear you. We're all entitled to our opinions, so why don't we just stay in our lanes? You understand that it's just a dumb YouTube vid, and I lay out my respectful interpretation, and we just both go our ways, eh? There's nothing more YouTube than a genre with opinionated clashes and debates as your lifeblood. Except for, well, probably one more. It's a boil in the butt to properly decide when intermissions fit, where they fit, if they fit. But I do want to stress this for transparency's sake. Some takes here may be valid, but some sound like I scraped the bottom of the Mariana Trench for it. I wouldn't even call it nitpicking, the minor illogical icks I had with the content. The comparisons I make, the points I use, the logic to back it up at times are iffy as hell. And sounds like it's driven by jealousy, personal mismatches, agendas. And that's the beauty of this video. Well, kind of. You deem my video is filled with irrelevant exhibits? I'm just a dumb kid who don't know what he's talking about? The way I string shit together is amateurish? Fine. But you just have to let things roll sometimes. My subjective interpretation on this equally subjective platform doesn't abide by whatever comments thrown at me from the other hemisphere. I just verbalize how I feel. That comforts me. Makes the adversity I'm facing clearer, the challenges more pronounced. So if whatever dumb analogy I made later in the video that I may intentionally keep in triggered you, just know I did not let that dumb shit hinder me. One more thing. I reserved this part in case X clips this out of context and makes this an assassination attempt on all creators. It's not. Big up your thing. Keep grinding. But sometimes it's not me speaking. It's my ego. So if you hit this section, might as well dig till the end, innit? The points aren't spotless, but it is authentic. I scripted this months before creating the channel for a reason. Is carried by nostalgia. There, I said it. PewDiePie 100 mil, Jacksepticeye 31 mil, DanTDM 20 mil, Markiplier 30 mil, CoryxKenshin 24 mil, Exploding TNT, Stampy Longhead, Game Theory, FGTV, Captain Sparkles, and popular MMOs. This one hurts. Am I hearing something? Let me talk! Let me talk! Let me talk! Let me talk! Don't let bro talk. I don't mean that as an insult. Nor smearing the sheer wit, brilliance, passion, and legacy these brothers built throughout the time they spent here. I've said in the Mr. Beast vid that I support the old YouTube, with this making the bulk of it. When you start out, everything is simpler. Okay, that's dumb. Hear me out. Notice how there is a certain batch of creators we know in synchronicity, with confidence. Boom. They're all gamers, with their laptop, in their rooms.
There's a live stream going on right now.
But not some random game. Most importantly, starting out at a time where they, as well as us, could not fathom YouTube being what it is today.
I just trapped this ex-boyfriend and his ex-girlfriend in the middle of the wilderness.
Back in the day, there is far less distribution of resources as the site finds its footing. So our selection bias followed a select few to be pioneers of what a gaming YouTuber is like. We bonded. We laughed.
Didn't laugh.
We screamed. We grew up. That simplicity is beautiful. Even you as adults could use a session of dudes cussing away without fear of censorship, copyright. But given the merit that everything goes on and changes by the minute, you can't just wish this to be the sole content forever. Now, in theory, better games, better creators, more access to standard equipment should prosper the genre. Now we're in the seat of those we watched growing up. Emphatic, right? Prime position to enact what our senpais did all those years ago. But as the brother who's writing and editing this video, subsequently, I realize all them Let's Plays ain't all that. The creators we may fantasize as idols and rave about them all day long turns out to be ordinary, regular Joes who took the chance and hell with it. The moment social media rewards discoverability, oh man, it's a race to see what type of content hits the biggest and slurp the most revenue. Psychology hacks, thumbnails, 5-second intros, no intros at all, sneaks of the video at the start, subscribe for a cookie, CGI, AI, brain rot, children's content, commentary channels, documentaries, ration slop, all the genres are blooming. But now it all feels like a full-scale dystopia to see what content breaks out and what mindless swarms of copycats will do to cling to that virality. And YouTube loves that loop, so they did nothing and strike the damn channels that threatened.
Sometimes you need to stop and call out some of the bullshit that is happening before you.
Hey! I'm on to you, the CEO, which I totally didn't forget the name. Neil Mohan. Yes, that's. I told y'all I totally did not forget the name. Meanwhile, gaming stood still with nothing to hook people into. No iPhone giveaways, no putting people in a circle to see who wins $1 million, no Caesarean or spit on that thing. As channels that start out with gaming gets dropped in favor of the retention, grabby, and algorithm-friendly tactics. That's what I mean by this genre is nostalgia carried. Not because you can't enjoy it as an adult, not because the magic simply throws up like Kobama when you age. We simply moved on. Cold with the windfall beat drop? Creators of this category, or any category to be honest, do not deserve the title of celebrity. Idgaf. That sounds salty as hell, but I fired off this section with a nostalgia-themed hot take for a reason. Just cause Cory's your childhood hero doesn't mean you should defend a brother like he's God. It's hilarious that he beat the allegations completely AFK, sure. But like, let the dude defend himself? As a man? Yo, what do Arsenal fans say? Let it all work out or some shit. This resonates with gaming YouTubers a bit more since a majority of you watching this video may have these creators goofing around in games daily be intangible with your life. But that nostalgia shouldn't be an excuse to have these brothers as something more than humans.
I've hurt people. I've been hurt by people. I've lied about things. Oh, this one's good. I can be selfish. I've hated. I've loved. Oh, I think this one's really gonna resonate with you guys. I've broken promises.
It's fine if you want to dive head first into the fantasy world. Adventures are sold to you to be the king of pirates, or be firefighters, or sorcerers beat up child diddlers for a reason. Maybe you're hooked in by their confidence, relatability, entertainment, other qualities. But fantasy will always be fantasy. It's in your head. Your brain can make up an entire lifetime in like 6 or 7 seconds at times. It's not real. Doesn't mean you shouldn't cherish it. Doesn't mean you can't be devastated that it's over. It just tells you, or tells me, that podium will one day be for you. So fucking sprint towards it. What's the matter? Did your mom not give you balls when you were born? Where is the testicular fortitude? Don't tell me you're scared? You can argue being on top of an industry deserves a fancy term coin for it, but you'd probably liquidate if you receive half of MJ's fame, or the fame of Taylor Swift, Kendrick, Ronaldo. On God, that title is not worth the risk, little bro. In fact, that shit gets in your head. And, well, it ain't hard to imagine that delusion will soon follow, does it? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, fellas. Hey, I should be a motivational speaker for this shit, no cap.
Rockstar up my spaghetti!
Oh my days, it's the Toon Force Corps!
He's become too strong. Call for backup. We need help taking back shots. Well, I give humans vitamin D. It makes them happy. You don't give anything. That's not what your mom said when I gave her my vitamin D.
What the hell, you say? Lazy bastard, like 10 feet away. You forget you have legs. When I was your age, I traveled 3 dimensions to get to school.
Why is it only missing one letter? Why are you missing one parent? Your dad's dead.
Oh my god!
You know what? You got it, bro. I ain't slandering these brothers. They're gonna pat me in the head for the world to see next. Nah, bro, I'm hitting the dipskis, dog. Now, YouTube ain't a streaming platform. So I'll dabble to Twitch and bring out a whole reliable Venn diagram. Streaming process goes something like streamer boots up, socializes with fans, hits the main event, final thoughts, and then closure.
See you guys next time.
Clippers handle the rest, or the streamer posts it to their own YouTube. But I still prefer making videos rather than broadcasting yourself to millions of eyes watching you. Same way people prefer Let's Plays to streaming games. Cause that has its own wacky setbacks, bruv. Backseating, spoilers, people being mean, hate raids, pressure, and the fluctuating psychology of being observed through screens all over the world. Genuinely nasty. If I slip and say something I'm not supposed to IRT,
what a fucking
either cancelled,
well, no more,
or turned into a meme.
Shut up.
And then get cancelled. You see, the sheer versatility of broadcasting yourself and doing every single content genre on planet Earth makes it hard to slander in the typical sense. That makes it 2 in a row I can't slander properly. Realest words ever said. Imagine something flowing, yeah? Like bloodstream. Natural, calm, delicate, full of serenity. And one day you decided to take some medicine that may make the bloodstream feel odd, out of place, pulsing, or even swelling. Might even form boils, pimples, to the point where people can just tell. Oh.
Something ain't right.
That's the effect Mr. Beast is having on this YouTube platform. Pinning the blame on some guy for capitalizing on human psychology is too far. YouTube's gonna transition to that sooner or later. But there's no denying the dent this brother and his clones caused here. If you come to this channel for anything else but me, I'll delete the channel, silently go back to college, and keep my head down hearing lectures by some random man shooting geese like a good boy. And I'm a bad boy. E tutti sono a bad girl. For the peeps at the back, this ain't me saying, oh my days, this brother reeks inocensity. This is anti-YouTube. That's not how real creators do shit.
Talk to them. I can't do that.
If it works for you, earn your bag, innit? But when you're lashing out against somebody's truthful opinions, who are you trying to fool? Virtual insanity is what we're living in.
How utterly helpless, useless, talentless, lazy, bummy, shit, booty, dookie ball, scratching nutsack, cuckfuck, atrocious coochie flakes of an imbecile for you to think this shit fucking bangs? And what kind of brain-dead Neanderthal can genuinely stand straight on both feet and vomits out?
AI is the future. Every single artist, animator, studio shall quiver in their boots right now because this is sensational.
Hate to break it to you, lil bro, but best believe I'll never let you spit all over the process like that. And by that I mean I'll jump over the screen and bend you over a table if I can. Yeah, it takes a long time. Yeah, you need to master it. Yeah, art is harshly frustrating more often than not. But that's just the beauty of it. People don't appreciate things that come way too easily. And tell me one thing that comes easier than typing a prompt into an engineered software that can generate in a few damn seconds. I'll hit the Socrates pose and wait. Maybe slot in a Leon Kennedy one-liner too. What is this shit harbor? Terminator? I'm supposed to believe this is the next big thing to replace real affectionate communities and products. An algorithmic, rigid, machinery, eliminatrix, fuck-ass cyberspace tot? Listen, I wouldn't just crash the party and be vexed off rip, but what does doing business with lifeless, glorified prompts circulating all over with millions of dollars worth of investments and contracts sound like to the people who put their life on the line, going through hell to get degrees and repping countless assignments? Oh, I don't know. A slap to the face? I'm all for AI being a tool, but when it's used as a shortcut to human effort, I'm talking about real human craft here. Draw a fucking line, goddammit. And don't even get me started about the AI let me explain everything going on in the world for 15 minutes or less before I say shit that will genuinely get me gone.
It's kinda ironic that we shit on AI-generated content while letting a fucking bot do the bidding for us. I stormed off. I can't bring myself to record this shit, bro. Like, AI? Are we dead ass? I can't. I just can't. Anyways, ain't that transition from nostalgia-filled childhood AI YouTubers to a potential dystopian future of where censorship, copyright strikes, fair use abuse, mass AI wave tsunamis sweeping over being the theme of this act poetic? When I watched this back, I shouted out loud, "Hey! The media enthusiast, I knew he could write, but damn, I didn't know he had this in his locker." So I just want to take this intermission to shout out all the creators who willingly take up on this path, big and small, as a love letter of sorts to the platform I spent a decade watching. From a spot of tough love. Remember when I say there's one thing arguably as YouTuber as tier lists? This is it. Humans are genetically wired to be afraid of the dark. What's the word for it? Instinct? But as animals, that wrinkly supercomputer inside us gets turned on every time by mystery. Something may loom behind that veil of darkness. That's why world building is relevant in modern stories. Ghost videos, paranormal activity getting interest. We itch for answers, thirst for blanks that yearns to be filled up. Ayo, pause? That's why mystery carries Iceberg videos enough to be its own format. The same way opinions, bias, and discussion carry tier lists. The way these entries go from surface level to downright bore knowledge 9000 niche, following the deeper you go, the darker it gets imagery of an iceberg. That's brilliant. Nice! Whoever invented this should get a raise, genuinely. Golly, this much glaze makes you forget that this is a slander video. Wait a second. There's actually no slander for this section? I guess that calls for an adventure. A bizarre adventure! You really just slot that in even though we don't watch JoJo's? Well, everybody keeps telling me the show is goated, so maybe I'll turn up my very legal platforms for that.
Open up, Heavenly! I know it hurts. I know, but take it. Take it, goddammit! Please. Get all this out.
You know that trope of being bullied when you slightly hint that you like anime? Same shit. Stereotypes like, they're all men using voice changers! All of them are certain hikikomoris! Cringy e-girls that often use OnlyFans or Fansly!
That shit is fucking trash, dog!
These are why widows are funneling that money from Simpson join the East! When you have 8 billion people in the server at once, these stereotypes will ring true for a couple thousand, that's all I'm saying. But letting them take away the inspiring part of the community is like letting Lion Maker or Skydoes flipping Minecraft take away the DanTDM, Spampies, Begbro and them. Do you not see the unfairness on display here? So personally, I don't give a flying fuck about stereotypes, alright? Sure they're cringy, sure they're over the top, sure some of them might be faking it, but hey! I'm cringy, I'm a weirdo, I'm over the top. The culture's weird as hell, but give me a plate though. I'm somewhat of a weirdo myself. Oh hey, waiter. There's one waiter, the one who usually serves me, the fiery one. What is she? A hellhound? My brother has her munch right here.
Yeah, she's gotten to a nasty cancellation. Apparently her artist said that she manipulated her, gatekeeping her from other big VTubers that are actually close friends to her. She dropped a dog shit apology, threw her manager / boyfriend under the bus and dipped.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Wait, what the f? Let me know if you want this section as a separate vid, cause so much happened last year in this sphere. But convos must be had about this abomination right here. Long story short, you beat me by 2 seconds, bro. When the internet demands clear-cut confirmation / transparency first, why did you start with what happened after your cancellation? Why is speculation riddling parts of the doc? That's just 4 times thicker than a dictionary, mixed with all kinds of shit. I ain't defending you. Why a Google Doc on X? You had choices and a brain to decide the right one, god damn it. This feels less of an attempt at clearing her name and more like these. I'm not debating the right and wrong of this doc, go to the other news channels for that. I'm here to see out the professionalism of the supposed content that can take over the world!
You killed the man, but not the idea. Yo, let me chill real quick.
Call me crazy, but I do know an example of handling a situation like this on the good end.
In this video, I'm going to be very vulnerable, open, and honest. I go into my past, I go into controversies, and I also debunk very serious lies about me.
The sequential process, the phrasing, the fact that it's a video, it flows. Thus easier to breeze your way through, effectively clearing his name for good. Not people hate him because he's irrelevant. anyways. The character assassination out of the blue sure is strange, but you're not helping yourself by slapping back with the telenovela Darky Edition! The beauty of VTubing is that anyone can don a model and try it. But don't be shocked when it turns into a detriment real fast as your average girl is faced with mainstream drama and legal hurdles. If you don't know how to navigate professionally, it's long. I think we have a general consensus about VTuber in our heads. And it's closer to this than this. And X did X things, crashing out as this wins VTuber of the year.
The individual who wasn't as well known by the VTubing community, the Burnt Peanut, won the Best VTuber award. This would spark massive discourse and debate within the VTubing community, as while many of the bigger VTubers would congratulate Peanut for winning, many other individuals would raise eyebrows at Peanut's classification as a VTuber.
As a consumer, I don't really gatekeep, at least to the extent of whatever happened here. Here's my thing. Modern day VTubing stems from Japan. It inherits the Japanese structure. Hence the models are anime coded. That's why peeps call their VTubers Oshios or Kamioshi.
Kill me.
Agencies sprouted up overseas because of the potential the Japanese blueprint offers them. Hold on, guys. Mine's digging something. Hey, wait a second. Just a bit more. Here you go, here's another one. Now we may say Peanut also uses an avatar, fitting the description of a VTuber. After all, avatars doesn't have to be an ooh girly pop. But there's a distinction, like how manga says itself from comics. Likewise, anime and Western animation. So to embrace him with no resistance does feel sudden, much less someone who doesn't even consider himself to be a VTuber. and it's implied people incite him winning it to smear the quote-unquote legitimate VTubers who sweated blood and tears to establish themselves. And the fact that it's the top dogs doing this as well, you're more than welcome to ask questions. My personal answer is no. He's not a traditional VTuber at least. But who am I, right? My gripe is the show itself, actually.
Present this next award. The 5 VTubers in this category worked hard at mastering peak kawaii and ara aura farming.
Here we are. I'm very excited for this Champions League fixture. Glory, glory, Man United. Anyways, let us welcome the 22 grown-ass men running around a ball like headless turkeys. Cause, you know, Galatasaray is in Turkey. I still embrace the niche more than I want to admit. Professionalism is a gaping issue to content creation in general, and the people themselves won't always be equipped with accolades prepping them for that kind of environment. Much less a new faction consisting of an array of either silly little wholesome goobers, or maybe you haven't heard about Resident Evil 2 Requiem, so there's no emotional attachment to Leon Kennedy. But this guy, I assure you he ain't him like that! In what verse do we not have at least one absolute unit or ultra-human tyrant? Surely he's not—
Daddy! Yes!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! He's so hot!
The man! The myth! The legend! Yes! Oh! I'm literally losing my gallons! Yes! Oh my! And it's not post-mortem. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! And it's not post-mortem.
Hey, what's up? Puts hair back. What's up? Damn, get in your Porsche. You wanna take that for a ride one day?
Leon! Oh, you said it!
Stop it.
I'm in the car with Leon! So cool! Leon! Uncle Maxie. I wish my uncle looked like him.
Oh my god, why would you do that to him?
I can imagine them thirsting over Leon, especially during this part where he's all. You can literally see the muscles through his shirt, man. God damn.
I'm fucking sweating.
I'm trying to impress my husband.
Oh, Daddy, I hate to see you go, but I like to watch you leave. Oh, Daddy. I lost. Chat, I lost. I can't get away with this.
Don't look at me, I'm the one losing gallons!
All this information is too much information.
Eat toast, Nomad! Fuck them up, boys! My day! Sit down! Very please! Eat shit! Sometimes you just have to lay your heart bare. I had, well, I had quite the resentment towards this genre. As a creative-oriented person, I look to the process, right? Envisioning good ideas in my brain, scrambling the words to properly vocalize, eyeing the clips the same way chefs go to the store and grab ingredients. And just like chefs, eventually we get into the kitchen and cook. The video itself, the thumbnails, the titles, the description, the pinned comment. When you're making vids professionally, there's more things that bother you than you realize. So to see the exact same thumbnails with the reactor's face next to it, the title with "No way! Did he just pull that off? No way the back rooms is this scary?" And it's just them watching the video, adding in commentary, and hit upload after a slight editing. When I look back at my Premiere, and then I look at my views, then I look at their videos and their views.
Allowed various work.
Wait a minute, did the brother not even bother to pause the video? Do you now see where the resentment comes from? I'm an absolute prick. What can I say? So when I get to create content finally, I realized not every channel has to ditch out AOT level writing or One Piece level of meaning and thematic display. The channels simply serve the audience they want to serve. Call them cheap all you want, but it's content. For every SSSniperwolf, we have Dr. Mike.
While this is all ridiculous, I want one.
For every XQC, we have Berry Crepe. I don't know, I kinda enjoy her reactions. And her giggles. Everyone has different ways to create content, and also enjoying it. So to think that everyone must deliver quality content regardless of circumstance, personality, talent, or upbringing is selfish, uneducated,
You dumb as hell.
and unrealistic on my part. My bad, dogs. You can just lean to your strengths all you want. If your talent consists of breaking shit down in a masterful manner, throwing out insults, insider info like prime Tom Brady, go for it, man. Speaking of, you know how beneficial it is to have, let's see, a wave of VTubers reacting to my shit? Hey, I definitely wouldn't mind.
This is a message from the media enthusiasts, the future reactors that found this video in advance. I humbly ask for a couple of requests. First, please upload your reactions at least 6 days after the original starting from this video. Allowing the video to find its original footing is vital for the channel's growth. Second, put the link to the video in the description. And lastly, if you repost the video just to stare blank at the screen and add in some basic commentary, just kindly give it a rest and scrap that video to save yourself from public backlash. If you wish to proceed, don't say we didn't warn you. Channels this size will significantly benefit from reactions from bigger channels, and we can't express enough gratitude if the videos were offered as a recommendation to you. We just want enough of your audience to check out the channel. We hope that is reasonable for a positive sum game like YouTube. That is all. You can go back to the video.
Put this into perspective real quick. You don't want to draw, don't want to add in simple commentary, don't want to paraphrase whatever's already said on a random celebrity, don't want to play no games, no sense of humor, don't want to turn on the camera and do whatever this is, can't copy the most successful YouTuber known to man, don't even bother typing out letters for a software to generate quote-unquote absolute cinema and spam on a daily basis, can't buy a good enough voice changer and rig a model for your bum ass, can't even stay silent and re-upload the video you're watching with your face on it, so you choose to capitalize on the fluctuating, ever unstable wave called negative engagement and sharp value farming? I know people genuinely would take it upon themselves and be an asshole, but it's a whole different echelon when this is the best you can think of in terms of making content. You mean to tell me you went out of your way to be a vile, uncivilized, desperate, disrespectful little fuck just to get some eyes on you?
Never stand next to a dead guy.
Building your pedestal with dust and sand, you cheap, broke, humiliation fetish ass nincompoop? You want this as your legacy? Some rash, rage-baity performative frenzy in the moment? Really? You expected me to genuinely crash out due to my opposal to cheap fast food content, but honestly, I don't even want to waste the effort. It's not even worth my throat going back and forth and my vocal cords vibrating, bruh. Whoa, not like that. Funny enough, Jack Doty, Johnny Somali, Nina Lynn, 2017 Logan, Bell the Wolf, and them, man, don't faze me at all. It's the fact that they willingly brought this upon themselves.
Damn you. Her booty's so small.
Willingly broadcast them. That gets under my skin. A lack of meaningful resolve and impact that only results in them sliding down faster and faster until they fall into the pit, as the internet moves on to the next rage baiter in line. And the cycle continues. If you introduce me to this before VTubing, my interest will be piqued a bit more. Because why do these two look identical? VR chat has its own flavor, with shenanigans involving multiple people wearing whatever the fuck they want. And by shenanigans, I mean both the good and the bad. But it's the same for VTubing, so... can't really comment. I'm already stuffed with VTubers bringing me the whimsy every day, so I'm not sure if I can take another... You handle it. Huh? I'm in the middle of record. That's exactly why I tell you to do it. It's the guy that gave you the VR chat suggestion. Oh. Okay. Bet. My perspective about VR chat is multi-layered, since I've been on this platform for about 7 years now. On one hand, it has the most creative, mind-blowing, chaotic, human and interesting experiences I've ever had online. It's a place where I found my home on the World Wide Web, but also a place I know has issues can't run away from. Issues that exist online, intensified though by 1,000-fold because the benefits and the issues of the online can get more real once you're actually there with another person online. I'll get more specific. It sounds great, like, don't get me wrong, yeah? But when I officially found my comfort zone and the mojo to bring me to the best, it's difficult to shift unnecessarily to another place. Especially when I already had a genre that's kind of the same cadence, just with slightly different flavor. I heavily debated whether if I should cover it, to be honest, since after all it's what Roblox is for games to Steam essentially. But after all, showing initiative and give this viewer the connection they deserve is vital early game. So hey, thank you for the suggestion. It's highly unlikely I'll do VR chat, but you simply just can't call the future like that, so maybe. Never felt this way before. Alright, I'm getting up. Okay, I'll be deadass. Who would think that you genuinely just do one single genre till the end of time? Surely channels do different things every now and then. Yet it's ironic that in a platform supposedly encouraging you to get experimental and, you know, broadcast yourself, you're more likely to find a one-trick pony rather than variety channels. All cause of a stupid goddamn algorithm that eats up repetition and follows what is proven. That can only do so much, especially when there's things you can only find in a messy room. Fuck you, YouTube, for rewarding this timid behavior, bro.
What did I do?
Now everyone's searching for quick advice to blow up, and gurus just regurgitate the same. Brother, we ain't doing this again. Anyways, I'm here now. And it's not the, ha!
Fear not, random citizen! Your hero is here!
type of vibe, but
hey, I'm just some average anti-hero, broken down by this cruel, wretched world.
But I'll see what I can do. When channels span the same format over and over and over again and people eat that shit up, while my bum ass spent 3 weeks experimenting and analytics show up the equivalent of people swallowing down rocks? That makes me salty as shit. Like, hey, no disrespect. You know, at this point, I always wonder if I did too much. Humans get analytical any chance they get. Society drilled us to follow what's proven and ostracize what is atypical. We shut off doors and ideas you can only find when we risk. We follow templates, robotically adjust, taking advice from geezers all over the globe. We label genres, divide niches, box ourselves in rules of one single category. The moment something or someone shows flaw, we rip it to shreds. And slowly, without even realizing it, YouTube changes. No more shitposting, no more creativity, no more originality, no more having fun doing whatever you so please without fear of criticism. All of that is gone, replaced by numbers, formulas, and whatever's left of the hope you once cherished. The longer you're in this field, the more normal it starts to feel. This part of content creation gets me, bro. Not the criticism, not the genres. A platform sprung to life so vividly, slowly turning into a place where everyone's fucking miserable. That's what monetization does to platforms. It doesn't just make everyone go for it. It makes us shut out everything that doesn't make us money. Jealousy, bitterness, and lashing out in hopes of hiding your inferiority. Eventually, you're just fed up, tired of nitpicking personal flaws of everything. Maybe that's the real ending. Not bashing every genre, not clashing with every niche, but realizing you're never meant to compare them in the first place. They're all imperfect, as they are beautiful. And I'll never change it for the world.